Hey, well, welcome to episode 5 of the Way podcast, and I'm your host, Ryan McKeen, and today I am joined by our very special new Best Era team member, Marisa Rua. Hey, Marisa, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan. I'm so excited to be here.
Welcome to The Way with your Best Era hosts, Ryan McKeen and Brittany Green. The podcast where we dive deep into the world of legal business and marketing. Each week, we'll be discussing the latest trends, strategies, and insights that are shaping the legal industry. So whether you're a lawyer, marketer, or business owner in the legal industry, this podcast is for you.
I am so excited to have you. We are in your old office, now a studio, and looks and feels completely different than it did just a few months ago. Yeah. And, you know, one of the things, it's very fitting to me that we hired you and brought you on in October because Halloween is your thing.
It is my thing. It's definitely my thing. And it's Brittany's thing too. And I think it's a great duo we have.
For our Best Era team, like Marisa checks all the boxes because she loves Halloween like Brittany. She is a dog lover like all of the rest of us.
Yep.
And she loves Wu-Tang Clan. So I am the only Wu-Tang Clan on the team. So we doubled in size with our Wu-Tang fandom
That's
here.
That's because we're
Best.
forever.
We are forever.
See.
We are forever. So if you're watching there, Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang is forever. And, one of the other things that is forever is a forever challenge in law firms, including the firm that we were all at together. So just by way of update, Marisa worked with me, Brittany, and Allison at our old firm. Mm-hmm. And Marisa was an amazing paralegal. And one of the things that we saw in Marisa was that she had a fantastic knack for being able to train others. Just a diligent note taker, somebody with a lot of patience, understanding, and that sort of magic that I think great teachers have, which is the ability to take that out of one's head and connect with it. And growth, as you grow a law firm, that is the real challenging part, is being able to accurately and adequately and competently train new team members, especially paralegals and case managers, because they're going to be the first hires for any firm who is growing a case list. So we are so lucky to be able to bring Marisa over to our Best Era team and to ultimately offer our services to hopefully a lot of you out there, because one of our challenges internally, Marisa, was we had trouble dealing with both the volume of cases we had and being able to pull people away and dedicate that time to do formal training videos. And we tried. It wasn't for want of trying and working with HR and trying to develop, right. But so often the urgent, takes over the important. So our sort of vision for this program is that firms can outsource that to us, right. Partner with us, have their team learn from our team to fill that gap, so they're not having to go out and build their own tranual or hire a trainer or pull away paralegals or case managers doing valuable casework to train.
Right. Yeah, I'm super excited for this opportunity because it's something that I've always been passionate about, even before Ryan presented anything to me. It's just something that you can't really request in the fields because there is nothing like this out there. So I'm super excited to start developing training for other paralegals that are looking online and researching and trying to find the answers like I always was. And that's why I've gained so much knowledge and little skills here and there that are not common, within the field. I became very close with attorneys that I worked with and asked them questions so that I would have to go to them less for the minor things that, typically an attorney might handle, but it's not something that a paralegal can't do. I really liked working on the cases, so I took a real passion to learning different aspects of the legal field.
And now, Marisa, just in general, not like one specific firm. I know you were at several firms.
Yep.
Can you just talk about what is the common paralegal experience with training? And, again, the audience here is mostly law firm owners.
Yep.
So there may be some people out there who are listening who they haven't hired their first paralegal. Right. Or there may be some people who, they hired a bunch and there's lots of turnover and things get missed and they haven't invested in a real in-house training program. Yeah. So can you just talk about what is sort of a common experience, both of your own and of other paralegals that you know in the space?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, if I was being trained on something, there was no direct person to go to. They might say, go to the highest level paralegal there that they've had for a while that knows the system the best. You sit with that person, but they're constantly interrupted because they're not only training me, they're also doing their job. But it's hard because you'll be in training mode for 40 minutes without an interruption, and then that interruption comes, and the person that's getting trained might be just sitting there while they're on the phone, while they're handling something urgent, and then you kind of get off track, and it's going back to, okay, where were we at? What was I showing you? And then we all have a bunch of systems up at the same time. So we're like closing out those systems, and we forget where we're at, then we got to get back on track, and then the training is just, it's lacked. And then for me as training somebody, it's the same experience. I don't want to say it's frustrating, but what's a good word for it? It's not frustrating. I wouldn't say that, but it's stressful for sure. Because I think it's an important aspect to have, especially even if you're not a new paralegal, but you're going to a new firm, they're going to use different systems, and they're going to have different shorthand, and every attorney is different. It's getting the basic tools so that you can move on from wherever you need to go.
And as a lawyer and law firm owner, there's nothing that buys you more headspace than having really competent case managers and paralegals who can anticipate problems, who can solve problems that never reach your desk, who can help clients through the stresses that they're going through, point them in the right direction, move the file, and really tee things up for you. I mean, I always felt like, a great paralegal was like, you watch that, you watch like surgical dramas. It's like, they're the ones who... Or
like Donna from Suits.
They make sure that instruments are in the right place. Right. They make sure that all the vitals are being checked. They make sure that everything is there. So when I would come into a file, I could immediately do exactly what I needed to do on it, knowing that the other things had been done appropriately. And I think as a firm owner too, when you bring on people, everybody brings themselves to the job. And so lots of people we would hire would have different experiences, and they maybe had some good habits or some bad habits or whatnot, but it was hard to try to create a uniform experience or product for our clients and our team. And look, I mean, I love reading the Reddit paralegal thread. The complaints are always the same with paralegals, that they can't get answers from their attorney, that they're not given directions, that they're not trained, that they're just thrown into things, that they're blamed for things that, they told the attorney about over and over and over again. So these are sort of very common frustrations. And I think one of the things that we're looking to offer here at Best Era is not only just Marisa helping you with paralegals, but also me being involved in talking to lawyers and paralegals about how to work together.
Right. That's key. It's key.
And unfortunately or fortunately, there are 3.1 million lawyers in the United States, and there are 3.1 million work styles that are different.
Right.
And so how can we have those conversations that are productive, that facilitate good working relationships? Because as a law firm owner, turnover costs you so much.
Right.
When you lose somebody, it's hard to find good people. So the best thing you can do is find good people, support them, train them, give them the tools that they need, give them the confidence that they need. But also, like, in doing that, like, that's like everything cuts against that, because you're a lawyer and you've got a deposition and you've got a bar event, or there's a new client who's calling, or the printer's not working. All these things that come up in a firm.
And I think it's also really important with that being said, because if an attorney works with a single paralegal, and that paralegal may know everything about the job. He's not going to have the same support if that paralegal goes away on vacation or gets a new job. I think, and for the paralegal that is doing the work, they don't want to come back to a massive pile of papers on their desk, because the work that they do is not equivalent to who is covering for them. So you want to be able to spread the work out evenly, but also you don't always want to say, okay, go ask so-and-so, and they get interrupted every single time there is a question. I think the training needs to be an overall and have everybody on the same page for things to run smoothly. But it's not a common at all in law firms, but it's unfortunate, and it's not any fault to the firm or who's in charge of running that. It's just law firms are busy. Personal injury is very busy, and people don't have the time to deter from the day-to-day.
That, I think, brings up some really good points and touches on some things that I think are critical here, which is that one of the things that I've noticed throughout law firms, even running my firm, is that it tends to be a position of a lot of turnover. So the workforce is much more fluid than it used to be. So I came from a firm where the paralegals were at the firm for 35 years.
Yeah.
They didn't move, right? And so now you have a workforce that is saying, I'm not going to put up with this. You have employers that are, maybe spending lots of money on marketing and not so much on salaries.
Right.
And you have people leaving for better salaries. So you have a very big fluidity. And you also have the idea that, where I started coming down on this with general labor flows and patterns was that what we needed to do as a firm was really hire for attitude.
Yeah.
Is this person wanting to learn? Is this person kind? Yeah. Can they organize themselves? Can they project manage? Can they work under deadline and some pressure? As opposed to they have 25 years experience. Because our firm, like many firms, very tech forward, and that I used to do things this way. I used to have all this paper. Like that's not gonna work for us. So a big part of I think what we're trying to do here with this is allow firms to, there's a gap here, right? So you have a need in the firm. Then you have maybe somebody who has never worked in a law firm.
Right.
Maybe they worked as a server. Maybe they worked at Starbucks, a retail, a whole host of backgrounds that they may be coming from. Then you have a firm that has a need for clients and, to service their clients. And so where we are is sort of where I see ourselves is right between the gap between that person somebody who has everything that they need to be there, to be an ideal paralegal case manager, ultimately make the firm successful, be successful for the clients. That person who wants to do the right thing and wants to learn. I think if you're hiring out there, like if you take anything, hire for curiosity and willingness to learn. And then there's us in the middle. And as we think about it, we think about different access points for firms. So online modules that we can deliver that somebody can buy into, plug into, get videos and resources, perhaps some community element to that, a series of materials, whether it's, checklists and systems that are going to help them understand what is going on, advanced level trainings on different things, group trainings with Marisa where we have a class and it's like, hey, you're the January class and you're going to go for 6 weeks and it's going to be online group training. Yep. And then there's that one-on-one training with attorneys, firms, us going into firms and helping them build out their internal training and understanding their systems, all of which were needs that we wish we had filled because, even the best intentioned bar associations, they'd have paralegal training once every 2 years. Yep. And it was like 6 hours. And we're like, no, you know what? We can do better.
Yeah. Yep. I think that the most important thing to remember when you're receiving training or you're looking for information to train another person in your firm is that not everybody, like Ryan said, there's millions of attorneys in the world, but not everybody learns the same either. So I'm really passionate about teaching people and making sure that they understand the information that I'm providing them. And if it takes me 10 times explaining it, I'm going to explain it. I think getting down to the root of how somebody works is how they're going to learn. And I've trained and learned from so many different paralegals. But it's just about tuning into how they're working and making sure you get to the root of that so that they then become great.
That's so critical, right? That's
Right.
the ultimate job of an educator, which is to figure out and to connect and to
Right.
provide different tools. And that's what we're going to do here at Best Era for people, provide value at all levels for firms, for paralegals looking to grow. So we're very, very excited, and we're sticking with the personal injury niche because it's what we know. And I'm very excited because it's a big problem to solve within firms. And I have to tell you, if you're a firm owner and you're out there, like, the best investment you can possibly make is in your people and in yourself. So leveling up your abilities and theirs is ultimately the thing that can make you either profitable or unprofitable at the end of the year. Because, I've handled business problems for years. I work on them with others now as a consultant. I'm very happy to do that. But there's almost no problem that can't be solved with having the right people with the right tools and the right skills
Right.
in place.
Right.
So you're going to be able to find us all over. We're getting our website launched. We're going to have some products. Marisa's going to be doing, I think, an online webinar coming up that we're going to promote. It may be out by the time you listen to this podcast.
So get your questions ready.
Get your questions ready. We're going to be out there getting this out to firms across the country. We're not just being Connecticut specific, because we think 90% of all the things that a paralegal needs to know about handling an injury case are universal. And there's always, 5% that's state specific and 5% that's maybe firm specific. If we can get you 90% of the way there, leave you with that 10% and also ideas on how to close that, we've got a very cool bot that can help you do that. So we're working on a whole host of very cool things, and I'm super excited. So Brittany and I always end these shows, not always, but there's only 5 of them, with what are you listening to right now?
Well, I'm listening to Ryan McKeen, but right now, it's a whole host of things. My playlist is always on shuffle, but on my way to work today, it was a podcast, Dateline.
So
I love my podcast.
I was listening to yesterday Wu-Tang Clan, for real, and I was listening to some re-release of 36 Chambers, which if you're like a child of the 90s, like, go on Apple Music, because chances are your favorite artists like re-released materials that have outtakes and bonus tracks and different mixes that are just very cool. And this one, I'd have to look, but it's either got Protect Your Neck or Cream a cappella.
Oh.
So they removed all the beats and the track, and it's just the vocal track, and it is a very fun listen. So
awesome.
We'll drop that in the show notes, and apologies for not remembering the song off the top, but I enjoyed it so much because it just showcases their talents completely aside from the beats that they were rapping to.
That's awesome.
So
I'll have to take a listen as well.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and stay tuned. We'll be back next week. Maybe Allison will be here, maybe Brittany and Allison, Marisa. Who knows? Maybe we have another employee by next week. So thank you all, and I hope you have an awesome day.
I hope you have a great day too.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of The Way with Best Era. Be sure to visit our website, bestera.io. From there, get more resources, insights, and to connect with us directly. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. That way you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep striving for your version of success.